Hey, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. We'll be working on a 2004 Toyota Sienna. We'll be replacing the radiator. Should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So let's hop on it. We'll start by draining the radiator. On the passenger bottom, there's a little white knob. We'll turn that counterclockwise and coolant will start coming out. So while our radiator is draining, we'll pull off some of our peripherals. We have this here, two 10mm bolts. And we have another one here, 10mm as well. And this one goes under the air box. You just kind of snake it out like that. So we want to take our cooling fan assembly out. There's 10mm bolts up top. We'll want to pull out the bracket for the transmission cooler lines, or just pull the cooler lines out. We got these plugs that can be unplugged. If your fingers can't get them, I find a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver can help push on the connectors. So now we'll get the upper radiator hose. Pull that off and to the side. Coolant bottle hose can come off. Pull it off from up here where the filler is. Maybe. Okay. So for the cooling fan assembly, there are two 10mm bolts down below. Get those off. You can kind of just feel for them. In retrospect, I do the bottom ones first, then the top ones. So the driver's side bottom one is right behind the radiator hose. So we'll go ahead and disconnect that bottom radiator hose, get it out of our way. But before we do that, we will close our drain plug and then move our catch pan over by that hose, because there'll probably be more that comes out. So now we need to move the bumper skin, just the top of it, out of the way. In order to do that, let me get some light. If you can see, we have one here, and that allows this little fender well to bend over, and then I'll show you inside two other bolts that we need to remove. So once we're inside, we have that one up there, and then one in the back. You probably can't see it. Let me show you on the other side what it looks like. So you have this one here and then one up. So just two. That allows this whole skin to kind of move freely. We don't have to pull the whole skin off, just the top portion so we can slough it forward. All right, now that this side, those two bolts are off, that kind of moves forward. We already got the other side off, so that allows us just to do that. That's all we need to do. It doesn't have to come all the way off, but that gives us access to this front bolt. And we already had access to the top. We may need to pull that off, but we already had access to that anyway. And then this other side bolt. So 1, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, possibly one in the middle, and we can move this out of the way. It may not have to come all the way off. We may just have to move it forward enough for that radiator, pretty much like a cartridge, to slide up. This middle bolt does have to be removed. If you're going to use a ratcheting wrench, just make sure you can pull the wrench off before it's too late, and then use the open end to finish it off. And then we need to unplug the horns. There's one other plug, looks like a crash sensor, or maybe it's a ambient air temp sensor. That's probably what it is. And the air temp sensor. And then a clip holding the harness in on the frame. We'll get that to come out. Okay. We'll get all that to come out. And I think that's it. And this can just move forward enough. There we go. So now we want to pull off this little top bracket. Looks like maybe 8mm, so we can separate the AC condenser with the radiator. And then don't forget our transmission lines. Our cooler lines we'll just want to pull off as well. Yep, so 8mm for these. There we go. Just separate the AC condenser. Let me get those cooler lines. I'm just going to use a little bungee to keep this out of the way. All right, we should be ready to pull up and out. That wasn't too bad. All right, now we'll put the new one in. So with the new one, we just slide it in, just like we took the old one out. Careful not to damage any of the cooling fins. Slides in like that. So there may be some things we need to transfer. The little clips for the AC condenser need to come off the old one, put on the new one. All right. Put the condenser back over it. We can lay this up and over. Before we get too carried away, we'll want to put our harness back in. So that'll have to come out. All right, now we can put our bolts in. Get the support all mounted down. All right, we'll plug everything in down here. All right, put our bumper back on. You can put a couple of these clips back on. That way while you're bolting it up on the two sides, it won't fall forward on you. So we'll get those two sides bolted up. All right, now that we got our bumper back on, you can put these clips in now or later. It's up to you. Let's put our radiator fan in. All right, so just as a suggestion, I'd bolt the top ones in first, then go get the bottom ones. So the top one I'm just gonna put in for a few threads, then do the bottom. That way if I have to wiggle anything, I have room. Okay, there's that one. There's that one. Tighten down. You know it's snowing. Not crazy, but like little baby snows. All right. So that's down. We can put our little overflow or reservoir bottle hose on. Put our upper radiator hose on. Plug in our cooling fan. And there was just the one plug. We'll route our wiring back. So it is just this one black plug that needs to be disconnected and reconnected. These two gray plugs do not need to be disconnected. They just stay with the radiator. Put our transmission cooler lines back in. And our bottom radiator hose. You put this guy back on, it snakes under. If you can't seem to get this snaked under and in its place, just take the air filter out and then you'll be able to really see what's happening and where it needs to go. Put that bolt on, put this back on. So just to show you, the reason why this radiator is being replaced is because the internal failure was with the transmission cooler. So coolant got inside the transmission. Catastrophic failure. The transmission is being rebuilt, replaced. But because coolant is mixed in with the transmission fluid, we don't want to plug in our transmission cooler line into the radiator. Otherwise, we'll be ruining this brand new radiator because we can't have coolant mixed with our transmission fluid. Now this vehicle will be being towed, so it's no big deal that it doesn't have transmission cooler. But this allows us to at least start it up so we can go through the bleeding procedure, and then the transmission fluid will just cycle back in without going through the cooler. Then when the transmission shop's done doing what they do, then they can just plug in the cooler lines where they need to go. If you're replacing the radiator for a different reason, then go ahead, plug in your cooler lines, and we are ready for bleeding procedure. All right, so in order to fill the coolant back up, you need one of these. I'll put the link in the description below. If you do not have one of these, then you have to pull this cowl off, and that's a matter of taking the wipers off, this top plastic piece, and then a series of 10mm bolts, along with the wiper motor. That all comes out, and then you have access. Otherwise, there's really not enough space because of this. Not the best design, but having a tool like this gets you past all that. So now we'll fill it up, wait for it to fill all the way until this is full, about halfway, then we'll start it up. All right, 1.25 gallons. No more bubbles are coming out, so we'll go ahead and start it up. The water pump will help circulate the coolant, and any bubbles that may be trapped inside will eventually come out. Let it warm up. We'll raise the RPM to about 3,000 RPM and then back down to idle. We'll fluctuate that a few times, and then just keeping an eye on our temperature gauge just to make sure we don't get overheated and to make sure that it's actually getting up to operating temperature. We can also go ahead and turn the heat on to full blast. All right, there you go. That is the replacement of a radiator in a Toyota Sienna. Even at 28 degrees in the snow, it's doable. I think the hardest part of this job is getting that bumper skin off. It's still not too challenging, but there's that one bolt. Let's see, if you have the fender well here, it's the closest or the farthest one forward. That bolt is a little challenging, but if you have a 1/4-inch ratchet with a long socket, a deep socket, that's the ticket for that one. Otherwise, pretty simple.